So right now I'm in Russia, and I was walking to the subway with my new wife, and we came up to this Watchtower Society cart, and we just about missed it, but I noticed the magazines look like Jehovah's Witness articles. And so I stopped and took a picture of the cart, and I just thought that the lady there was just speaking Russian, but she said, "Oh, I don't want my picture taken." So she actually stepped aside, and I took a picture. She said, "I don't want pictures taken." And I said, "Well, you're in a public area." And so she had nothing to say to that. And then I said to her, "So, do you have a Bible? Like, where's your Bible?" And she says, "Oh, it's in the back here behind the cart." And I said, "Well, why don't you show your Bible?" She says, "Well, it's not allowed." And then I said, "Well, what about the King James Version? Isn't that allowed here?" And she just kind of looked at me like she had nothing to say, and I kind of cornered her, and she just kind of shrugged her shoulders, because the King James Bible is allowed to be out in public here. And I also said, "So what kind of magazines are these? Do you have the Watchtower and Awake?" And she says, "Well, we're not allowed to have that shown here." And I said, "So what kind of magazines are these?" And she says, "Oh, they're just brochures." And also on the cart, there was no symbol for the jw.org, because that is banned here in Russia. And so here we have this ridiculous looking brochure, and these are made in Germany. Right down here at the bottom. And so I just quickly talked to her because we had to go, and I asked her if she had the JW Library app, and I said, "Do you have the Kingdom Interlinear of the Greek scriptures in there?" She said, "Oh yeah." So she looked on her iPad, and then she couldn't find it. And so I said to her, "Well, I'd like you to check something. Check out Colossians chapter 1, verses 16 through 18. And I said to look at the Greek and to see how they added the word other. And it's not in the original Greek." So she promised that she would do that when she would go home. And then we had to go. And so it was just a quick talk with her. But basically, overall, my point is that jw.org is banned in Russia. They cannot have the Watchtower and Awake titles, and they cannot display the Bible. I asked her if these magazines were Bible based. She said, "Oh yeah, but they can't show the Bible, and they will not show the King James Bible. They will not do that." So I did mention that the Watchtower Society used to print the King James Version, but these magazines are more important than anything. This is all they had displayed, and it's just a big joke all around the world. People in Russia just view them as a cult, and just kind of like an insane type of people who kill their children because of neglecting blood transfusions and all the child molestation cases. They don't have much respect shown to them from Russians. But anyway, another just quick thought. I thought it was just interesting how she just stands there behind a cart, just standing there like a statue, hoping someone will confront her. And it must be a very, very boring job to collect the hours doing this. It's just sad.